Hi there, everyone. Tom Farrell here for the fifth and final video in our series of income producing options. And this video is entitled Learning the Skill of Internet Marketing. And again, my name is Tom Farrell. I want to welcome you to our last video in this series. And I want to tell you, reiterate on this picture you see in front of you of the world with all the lights flashing across of it. That's a symbol of the internet. I'm sure you've probably figured that one out by now. But in my book business, which I've talked about in the previous videos, I had a territory, and many people in corporate America have a region or a territory, or if they work in an office, they have a department or something like this, something that confines them to an area. And I always thought, being in my book business, that even though I had a decent territory, wouldn't it be great to have the world as my territory? I mean, the International Publishing Company, the one that I became #1 for in the U.S., Canada, Australia, and the U.K., was originally from the U.K., and in fact, they wanted me to go over there and do some training, but it didn't work out schedule-wise, and I never did make it over there to train some of their reps. But the key, that really got me thinking. If they were doing business in the U.S., Canada, Australia, and the U.K., wouldn't it be cool if I could find a way to do business in like 150 different countries? Well, that's what you can do with internet marketing. And so the world is your oyster. And it's only about tapping into that where it becomes a little challenging, and until you learn the right systems, then you're going to be kind of, shooting yourself in the foot and trying to fumble and mumble your way through it. But I saw the writing on the wall for my book business, even though I was making a good six-figure income, that how everything was going towards the internet. And my media specialists, which is the modern-day term for school librarian, were all telling me that for years. Hey, Tom, it's all going to to databases and ebooks, and print media is going the way of the dinosaur, and you just better prepare for it because it's happening, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. So I began learning internet marketing, and as a result of my decades in my book business, I came to the conclusion regarding the internet: if you can't beat them, join them. And it really has been like an internship that you go to during college, where you learn about a business or profession, but you don't get paid for it until you get through the schooling. After all, do you get paid to go to college? No. Do you get paid to go to technical school? No. I mean, so why should this be any different? You're learning a new skill. You've got to learn before you can start to implement and get paid. So I began my quest of learning how to create and set up my first blog. Everyone said, you got to have a blog. You got to have a blog. I didn't even know what the heck a blog was at first. So I bought courses, and I purchased plugins and joined groups and joined a company that supposedly would teach me. And I spent thousands of hours, literally, and thousands of dollars, only to get so frustrated that I wanted to throw my laptop against a tree so many times that I lost count. And I spent countless hours just trying to move one image over an inch on my blog, or add a video, or add a new category to my blog. And I'm not a programmer, and I don't know HTML coding. And I think that 99% of people are like me. They're not programmers, and they don't know HTML coding. And I was told by this company that I paid to join, oh, you can learn this. We'll show you how, is what this company said on their webinars. But it was so complicated that I finally came to the conclusion that it was not duplicatable by 99% of the people, even if I did, by some miracle, start to figure it out. There were just too many steps, and too many things were uncertain, and this was just getting my blog set up. And regarding my blog, I eventually ended up hiring a programmer to finish setting up my blog, because I'd had it. I just said, I'm done. And that didn't even include trying to market anything or brand myself. I hadn't created a capture page. I hadn't done any advertising, paid or free, etc., etc. Now, the other fact, in a positive sense, is, well, it sounds very appealing, because it is of this global nature here, The majority of people marketing online are earning less than $100 per month. That's a fact. The majority of people are earning less than $100 per month. Now, does that mean because they're stupid? No. Does that mean because they don't care or they're not trying? No. Because they don't have the right system. And I know it probably sounds shocking, but it really is true. And the reason is because, like with any profession, if you're a professional or a teacher or a lawyer or a nurse or a doctor, there's a huge learning curve. Most people want to make money online, think they just get a website or a blog, and the money will come flying into their bank account. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. This is no different from any other profession. Internet marketing is all about learning a new skill, just like it would with any other profession. And there really is an art and a science to it that once learned is like having the keys to a treasure chest, because after learning even a couple of methods that fit your personality and get results, all you need to do after that is rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat, and then scale your business up from there. And how refreshing is that? I mean, my God, that's just wonderful. You're not dependent on bringing in some heavy hitter like you would with an MLM, or going through 4 to 8 years of college or law school or med school. And again, I'm not bashing education. If that's your dream, go for it. But I'm just saying there's another option. This is the 5th option in this series. Now, this will require the same discipline as those who've earned a 6 or 7-figure income in any other business, but it doesn't take anywhere near as long, nor does it cost anything close to what your student loans would amount to if you went that route, the education route, or if you bought a franchise. Now, education is good, and you will have to learn internet marketing too, and you'll also have to be very consistent and very persistent. And if you're a quitter, if you're someone that's going to try something for 90 days and then quit, then you might as well turn this video off right now and call it a day. But if you're someone who, if they find the right thing, will continue to persist, then I got something for you. Let me tell you a great story that explains this from my childhood, that explains the concept clearly of a learning curve and never giving up. In 1962, yes, a long time ago, it's not when I was born either, my aunt and grandmother moved into a new but very old home in upstate New York, and I was a kid. And we happened to be visiting up there when they moved in to help out and get them settled and all that stuff. And I'm the oldest of 4 kids, and I was 8 years old, so I really wasn't much help in the moving part. And my parents just said, go outside and play, because they needed to get things done. So I did that, and I noticed between the 2 houses there was some contraption that had a cement trough running out of the bottom of it. It also had this handle thing on it, and the whole thing was made out of metal, and I had no idea what it was. And I asked my aunt, and she came out and looked, and she told me that it was a very old water pump covered in cobwebs and dirt, and it probably hadn't been used in decades. She told me that the pump had supplied all the water to that house before the water mains had been put in. They used that water from the pump for washing their clothes and washing their dishes and taking baths, etc., etc. And I found that absolutely fascinating, because I'm used to turning on a faucet and getting water, or turning on a light switch and getting electricity. And this was like a new toy to me. So to amuse myself, I cleaned it all off and I went to work. And I started pumping, and nothing happened. Again, I'm used to turning on a faucet and the water comes out, and that's it. That's as difficult as I'm used to having it get. So I went in and told my aunt, I said, the pump is broken. It doesn't work. It's broken. So later that afternoon, she just nodded and smiled in her wisdom. And later that afternoon, she came out with me and sat there in a chair and told me to pump it again and again and again and again. And she said, you can't stop or the water will never come to the surface and come out of the pump. And I was more determined than ever, though my arm was getting quite tired and sore. She said, I kept pumping, and to my utter amazement, and I'm not kidding you, sheer delight, all of a sudden, water came out of the pump. And I was just amazed. Now, it was dirty brown water at first, but it started gushing out of the pump. And it was gushing and gushing. And eventually it became clearer and clearer. And it was absolutely amazing to me and great fun for an 8-year-old on a warm summer day. And I kept pumping and pumping. And then my aunt told me something that I didn't believe at first. She said, "Stop pumping." And I did, and the water continued to come out for a while. And I couldn't believe my eyes. I was shocked. And I learned that the longer I pumped before stopping, the longer the water continued to pour out. I was absolutely ecstatic. And she explained to me that I had primed the pump. Now, the point of my story and the lesson here is that with internet marketing, if you keep on pumping, if you don't stop, if you keep trying different traffic methods, different social media, I'll show you another screen here, which I have available, and this shows you some of the different stuff, which again is confusing if you look at it. But if you keep trying, and there's a method to my madness here, as we get into this a little further here, if you keep trying using different social media strategies, recording videos like this one, trying different capture pages, that eventually the water, in this case the traffic and leads, will lead to conversions and then sales and then money. The key is to keep pumping and keep trying new strategies until your pump is primed. And internet marketing is a skill that once learned will pay you for a lifetime. But there is no magic formula. With internet marketing, you don't have to get lucky and enroll some heavy hitter, like I said in the case of MLM. You don't have to pay 6 or 7 figures to get the best franchise in the best location, nor do you have to play office politics and get advanced degrees or do the job of multiple people. You just have to keep pumping, and once you've found the recipe that works for you, you'll become incredibly wealthy. There's no mystery. There's no getting lucky. This is a skill that anyone can learn. Just keep pumping. In internet marketing, your results are dependent on you, not someone else. And I love that. I'll repeat that. I love that. Because in my book business, my results were dependent on me. And I earned a major 6-figure income, as I've said in one of my previous videos. Not bragging here, just fact. But the majority of book reps that I knew were making about $50,000 a year, and I was making $200,000 to $250,000 a year. Now, why was that? Was I any better? No. I thought differently. I applied myself differently. I used different strategies because it was dependent upon me, and that's what I love about this here, is that internet marketing is depending on your skills. And if you learn the skills and you get a couple strategies that work for you, you just run with that and just keep on going. So getting back to my first story about my first internet company that was teaching me, the good news that came out of this experience is I reconnected with an old friend, Kevin Connect, who I hadn't seen and lost touch with for about a decade. I was also introduced to David Wood and Tracy Walker through their webinars for this internet training company. And it was there that I heard David tell everyone that he had enrolled 2,000 people into this company, getting a whopping $15 per person commission without ever picking up the phone. Now that got my attention. I thought to myself, you mean no more dialing for dollars? I watched many of David's webinars and loved every single one of them because I had spent years, like I said, in the world of MLM, in addition to my book business, making hundreds of dials a day to prospects. And one time, in fact, I was challenged to make 400 dials in a day, and I actually did it. But do I suggest that as a way to go and something to do on a regular basis? Heck no. I was sick of the phone. I hated three-way calls. I hated dialing for dollars. I just didn't want to do that at all. And here you don't have to. So fast forward to now. I've found a new company that teaches step-by-step how to successfully build an internet marketing business through their digital online educational products and courses using a simple, underline simple, format. Not incredibly complicated like the first company was. This new company can best be described in educational terms as providing everything from kindergarten through getting a PhD and everything in between. If you're coachable and you can follow directions, you can succeed here, along with the support that our team and I will provide for you. Now, to top it off, we have a new system coming out, and this is starting probably next week. called Internet Prospecting IPAS 2, or Internet Prospect Accelerated System version 2. This is really the gasoline for the engine. And I'm going to come back to my love of cars, in case you didn't know, to give you an analogy of what IPAS 2 is all about. You know how some people love to drive their cars so much, and they love driving, that they're constantly taking care of them and cleaning and detailing their cars, and they'd much prefer a 4-speed or a 5-speed transmission so they can really feel the road in the car and really be in control of every aspect. Have you ever met someone like that? I remember, growing up, purists that would never think of getting a car with automatic transmission. That was just horrible. Now, are they wrong to want to feel the road and be in touch with their car manually? No, it's just their personal choice, Now, other people, however, are going to want to have everything be automatic. The more bells and whistles, the better. And automatic transmission and cruise control are just simple analogies of that concept. Well, IPAS 2 is sort of like that. Someone can be as hands-on or hands-off as they want, and with done-for-you traffic, with capture and lead pages, etc., etc. Now, I'm not going to go into all the details here, but I will give you a link at the end that you can check out this video that you see on your screen right in front of you. Now, suffice to say, between my internet marketing educational source and IPAS 2, we now have two systems that allow the average person, not the techno wizard, HTML loving programming ninja, to have their own successful internet marketing business. Plus, you get to work from home. You don't have to drive 25,000, 30,000 miles a year like I used to. You can work from home in your sweatpants with a t-shirt on and barefoot if you'd like, and spend time with your family and make your own hours and not have to deal with all the other stuff that goes into going to a job in an office somewhere else. And I'd call that a home run. You also don't have to, like with a franchise, deal with hiring and firing teenagers all day long. But this is a business, and this is you can scale this up to a major 6- and 7-figure income without having to know it all. Because between these two systems here, it really does teach you everything in a simple, underline simple, method. So that's why the average person can succeed here in a major way. And up until now, with internet marketing, even though it's been a phenomenal concept, to look at when you look at that world picture again, and then you go back to this other picture here, to try to understand all this stuff, it's very, very complicated. So what we really need is we need to forget the hype. We need to discover the truth about earning a long-term sustainable income online. Now, there's no such thing as a free lunch, as my economics professor told me in college on the first day of class. And if something is free, my personal advice is to run like hell. That's just my personal advice. If someone tells you, oh, it's free, you can get started for free, it's garbage. It's a scam. It's not a real business. This will cost you some money, I'm telling you that right now, but nothing even remotely close to a franchise. And it absolutely will require time and effort, but depending on your desire and your budget, you can make this as automatic or as manual, like a manual car with a 5-speed, at your leisure. You can do either one and make this as automatic or as manual as you desire. The choice is yours, but the vehicle is here, my friends. And that's the key here. This has been a journey for me, and I'm thrilled that I finally have come to this place where I've got this educational system and I've got IPAS 2 to put it all together, because that's why I'm now seeing success. So to get more information, go to this website, http://globalincomegrowth.com. So again, that's globalincomegrowth.com. It's there that you'll see that you can watch the video that I showed you that'll explain IPAS 2 more clearly so you understand it. You can sign up for your free system. It's free right now, and they'll start to charge for it once it launches, which will probably be next week. But I urge you to do your due diligence. Even if you do pay, it's not minimal, because eventually everyone's going to have to pay for it anyway, because it is a system. But again, this allows the complicated, which is what internet marketing is, the complicated to be simple. So I want to thank you for being a part of this presentation and a part of this 5-video series. I hope you found it helpful. I'm not trying to tell you anyone what to do. I'm just trying to give you options, and that's been the whole purpose of this video series on income producing options. So again, this is Tom Farrell signing off, thanking you so much for watching and wishing you the very best in life, because you absolutely deserve it. Thanks again, everyone. Bye-bye.